a learning legacy. Again, the Sedgefield Olympics and FLMSDFR.
I'm Bomber.
And I'm Chris.
And you're listening to This Week in Sedgefield.
It's August. We have arrived at August, the 8th month of the year.
We have indeed.
2024.
2024, and summer is not here.
Not here. But you know what? The sun is out. It's feeling a little bit good. The fires are only showing up at night, not in the morning.
In your house.
Yeah, is it? No, we definitely have that, hey? Otherwise, how are you doing, Bomber?
I'm good, thanks, Chris. And how are you doing?
Yeah, all good, hey? It's been a busy season, but it's been a good year.
Oh, that's good
overall,
to hear.
Wouldn't you say?
Good to hear. Well, a good year for wearing overalls. I don't know. Yeah.
Overall wearing, yeah. Oh, very cool.
Before we get onto the news thing, I've had a couple of people ask me. They've been listening to the podcast, and thank you to everyone who listens. But a couple of people have asked me, who is this other dude?
Which one? Is there someone else here? Oh, me.
No, it's you. And they just say, they know you as Chris, but that's all they know.
Okay.
And so I thought it'd be a good time to ask what you do, other than recording podcasts.
This is it. This is my whole life.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yes.
Good.
And if you,
that's why you live in a cardboard box.
There we go. Yeah.
It's
quite cold.
I gathered that it must be.
That's why we only do fires at night. So me. Thank you for asking. And if anybody else asks, just tell them that they should just come and speak to me about it. Okay. Just no. Okay, cool. No, so it's myself. I'm Chris. Chris Olsen. If you are taking notes, Christopher Olsen. If you're taking extensive notes, and that's someone calling for you, is it? As you ask me. So we've been here, my wife and our two kids, we've been here in Sedgefield for like 4 years now.
Okay.
And we moved down because we didn't want to be in Joburg anymore. And we just...
Good reason.
Felt a very big pull to come down here because we had always been coming down as family for holidays between Wilderness and Playet and all around.
Okay.
We were going to move to George.
Oh,
and I'm very thankful that we didn't.
Yes,
man.
Me too.
I can't tell you how well it worked out. It was absolutely phenomenal. While we were looking for houses, we had a budget, and we were living in Wilderness at that point, and just looking around George, couldn't find anything that was in our budget. Everything was just utterly ridiculous, and just
cardboard boxes are very expensive.
Oh my goodness! Hey, never mind the plastic ones. and then we did one day just came to Sedge to have a look around, and we had one of the great estate agents show us around to multiple houses, and every single one of them we said, this is in our budget. This is a rad option. Okay, let's do it. And it just so happened that in the property market, the prices for that month that we bought, they just dipped.
Oh, wow.
And then shot right back up again afterwards. So wonderful for us. Sorry for everyone else who was around that time.
Or the person who sold you the house.
Yeah, exactly. So no, we're just super blessed here in Groenvlei, and we're stoked. Oh, and what we do most of the time, we're homeschoolers. So we've got our two little kids who do a lot of playing at home and a lot of learning around town, visiting.
And you're a teacher by trade, aren't you?
Yes, that's one of those. So journalism was the first start, which I actually did at University of Johannesburg. Good old UJ.
I didn't know
Rao. Oh yeah, there you go. So Rao, that was the start of it. Well, it was UJ then. And I studied journalism. Then I went and I started working in some schools, doing some community service kind of stuff there, and just loved education, loved teaching, and then went on to doing some anthropology. As one does, of course.
Because
just tick that off.
What else do we do with all the anthropods wandering around?
Yeah, no, I didn't know either, so I stopped doing that.
Yes,
and I didn't want to go into. I didn't want to go into lecturing and all of that, and instead just wanted to go straight into education. So a few stops along the way, but ultimately I did theology as well. I got some qualification stuff in that, some work in that, and just wanted to serve the next generation through education and helping families with education. And that eventually leads us down to here, where we now run Home Code, which is the name of our business, which is basically an interest-based education company. So I teach coding and robotics in there. Tammy does
coding and robotics.
Coding and robotics, yes. So that's why here in the studio there are constantly electronic parts and
robots walking through.
That's it. And you keep getting shocked every time you touch something. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yes. Also get to write some textbooks as well for coding and robotics, which is great. But we've got a chess coach. We do drama, coding and robotics. We've had film and photography clubs. The big idea is to make learning as fun as possible and to help kids love learning rather than the alternate of that.
That's wonderful. And absolutely wonderful. Wow.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so what a calling.
Yeah, I think so. Hey? No, we're really stoked about it, feeling really, really blessed to be down here.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things is that we get to see Groenvlei from our bedroom window.
Oh, Groenvlei.
Yeah, Groenvlei. But it wasn't...
The lake formerly known as Brainvlei.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it full of brains?
It was, not Brainvlei, but Brainvlei. Actually, if we give it its full title, it's Groenvlei, formerly known as the lake formerly known as Brainvlei, the lake formerly known as Groenvlei.
Oh, there we go.
So it's gone through different changes. Yeah. Other people call it Lake Pleasant.
Yes, that's right.
It has also been known as Lake Not So Pleasant.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Okay.
Why?
So this is what leads us into the story. Yeah. People are always, could I say, carping on about the color of the water.
You could say it.
So there's a group here called the IFSM,
Invasive Fish Species Management.
That's it. Invasive Fish Species Management.
Man, acronyms.
Yes. Come on. If you're Sean, what's his name? O'Connor? No
idea.
Okay, James Bond.
Yeah, there we go.
If you're him, you'd say fish species. Sorry. Okay, we'll probably not edit that out. So there's a wonderful group with those initials, run by.
You can't remember them, can you?
No, I can't.
IFSM.
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 Oh,
yes, of course.
Have you seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yes, that's great.
With the FLMSDFR. Makes a robot with the longest words and just slaps it all together. So the IFSM.
Okay. So their mission in life has been the last few years to get the carp out of, well, not to get the carp out of the water, though it involves getting the carp out of the water, but not to, they know that they can't totally get rid of the carp in Groenvlei.
Yeah.
But they're doing their best to control it. Now, carp is, as most people know, carp is an invasive species in our wonderful, pristine Lake Pleasant.
Yeah.
Which is, another name for it. It was introduced when I first moved here in 1998. I met up with the manager of the Cape Nature area manager. His name was Brett Haseman.
What's it now?
Well, I don't know. He left a long time ago.
Has his name changed? I don't know.
His name is
was
now
Brett.
Sheila Haseman.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm lying. Sorry, Brett. So he told me the story that there was two brothers that had been involved in illegally releasing carp into Groenvlei because they like to fish for carp.
And they wanted to turn it into their fishing hole.
That they had done this to other people, but they were the only witnesses to their own crime. So, and what's happened is over the years, the numbers have grown. It used to be the best bass fishing lake in the country.
Really?
People used to come from all over the country to fish for bass. We had huge bass fishing competitions here. Yeah, and they used to give prizes like, here's a boat.
Bass to the max.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's all about the bass. A bass obviously is also an invasive species, so that's also I think that the lake is supposed to have things like tilapia and other things like that. It's kind of a Latin name. I hope you're impressed with it.
I'm very impressed with many things.
Some people call it bream. But tilapia is apparently the Swedish name or something. I don't know.
Where Latin originated. Sweden.
So anyway, Johnny and his team, Johnny Snyman and his team, decided to try and take this on. Well, in fact, I think it was Johnny himself at the time. So the carp have grown and grown and grown and grown in numbers, and eventually turned the waters brown.
Whoa!
Because they are bottom feeders.
Okay,
it's not an insult. It's just where they have dinner.
Hope they're not offended. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
After calling them invasive bottom feeders, that's
or attorneys.
Yeah.
Ouch. Sorry. So they've churned up the water. They made it very difficult for other species to survive. They pretty much, because they make the water cloudy.
So it actually turned brown from them just churning around.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's not fed by any rivers or anything. That water has always been crystal, because it's fed from an underground spring.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, amazing.
That's amazing.
It's the biggest underground spring-fed lake in the country, I've been told. Yeah.
Jeez.
So and so the water, even though the water's probably a K, if that, from the sea, it's total. It's fresh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive dune in between.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, Johnny Snyman, one of his claims to fame, is he's a bow maker.
Ooh.
He makes bows and arrows.
Yes.
I don't know if he still does, but he used to. I don't know if you remember the movie 1000 BC. It was a movie about ancient times.
I do remember that. Yeah,
he made all the bows and arrows.
I was in it.
Oh yes, of course, you were in it. He made all the bows and arrows that they used for the filming of that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, quite. Anyway, so he took it upon himself to start the war against carp using his bow and arrow.
They defeated 1000 BC. Surely they could, defeat some carp.
One would have thought so. So he got onto Cape Nature and said he wants to go onto the water at night and start shooting these things, which he did. And he was getting like 15, 20 of these things. And they're huge. Carp,
those are
5-10 kgs, some of them.
Hideous things.
Yeah, they're huge fish. Yeah. He was getting a huge amount, but it would take him the whole night. Eventually, he got a few other people to join him on the boat, and then they had 2 boats, and they were bow hunting, but they weren't keeping up by any means.
Okay, just still a ridiculous amount.
These carp were breeding like underwater rabbits.
Yeah.
So,
other scientific name.
Yes, and obviously the other fish life was losing because
I'm sure.
Because they can't see with the muddy water. Yeah. So they can't see to catch their prey or whatever they catch. So the odd baseball. So they So now the ISDF, the IFSM,
the search and filter, you bet.
They later introduced, with all the permissions from Cape Nature, who are the custodians of the water. They introduced netting to catch these carp. So they do that and the bow hunting.
Okay,
they got other boats on there, and it became a real big positive thing that they were doing.
That's so cool.
And then COVID happened. And
fish all wear masks.
No. Well, the beautiful thing was that talk about thinking out of the box, out of the fishing box, I suppose.
Out of the lake.
What he did, Johnny did, was he said, hang on, we're taking all this fish out the water, and there's people who aren't working, so can't eat anything.
That's true.
So they started distributing the fish amongst the poorer communities.
Whoa. Okay, so obviously a very edible fish.
Yes,
high protein, all that goodness. Whoa.
And this grew even further to such an extent they were catching so many fish. Yeah. But the problem was keeping it fresh and getting it out to the communities.
Yes.
Because then it became a whole thing about how long can you transport it for, so on and so forth. And they obviously did this once again through the regular authorities. So
the
Cape
right
Nature,
way and safe and all that.
The municipality was saying, and the health department was saying, whoa, you can't, because obviously you don't want to take fish that's going off to a community.
Yeah, no, that's
so they had to start freezing it. So they were borrowing deep freezers or whatever. Then
That's amazing.
Yeah. Then what are they called?
Gift of the Givers.
Gift of the Givers. They stepped in.
Oh, brilliant.
And they said, okay, we'll help you transport. So they put money in. Mario Ferreira got involved. He's
so
the
cool.
local Gift of the Givers guy.
Yes.
He stepped in and was helping with the transport and what have you. And then Sea Harvest stepped in.
Sea Harvest. The
fish
people.
fingers. The fish people. Yeah.
The fish
I
fingers.
think they make fish fingers, which fish don't have. No. They stepped in and said, we're going to help by giving you a refrigerated truck.
Oh, that's so cool.
So they got involved.
I said cool like 50 times already. That's brilliant.
Isn't it just? So
that's awesome.
This is an ongoing thing. And it really is a positive story. And these guys aren't after any glory.
Yeah.
I really have to, I try and feature them in the paper on a fairly regular basis.
Seen them a few
but I
times
really
there.
have to push them for a story because they're not about blowing their own trumpets.
Yeah.
They are about getting something done that's a win-win-win situation.
Yeah, I mean, you do get people who are very famous because of carps out there, and they don't want to be in that list.
Yes,
they don't want to be in the C list, you know?
They
want to be different kinds of celebrities.
Absolutely.
Hey, speaking of celebrities, how is Sedgefield doing in the Olympics?
Oh, Sedgefield didn't do so well. Shame. Vicky van der Merwe, the lady who trained in Sedgefield.
Yes.
Maybe she should have trained in Brainflay.
Yeah.
We read the reports, didn't we, just now on the interweb. And what did it say? She said she had
46th,
and she had the toughest.
Yeah, she said the toughest swim of her life.
Yeah.
It was she felt like she was actually going to die.
Yeah. Well, there's a question I want to ask because the men's triathlon was due to start on the Tuesday, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And the women's on Wednesday at 8 a.m. And they said, the Seine is insanely polluted. E. coli numbers are too high. They probably said it with like, this water is too sacre bleu, cul-de-sac, a la carte. This water is too dirty. It's got E. coli. For the men to swim in.
Yeah.
So they postponed the men's race, but they didn't postpone the ladies' race.
Oh. You know what they did?
What did they do?
They didn't get carp bow hunters out there. They got some other bow hunters who fished out.
Possibly that's it.
The other version of carp.
Yeah. Carpe diem. Yes. Yeah.
Oh man.
So she didn't have a good. And these, we're not judging her at all.
No, of course not.
These are her words.
Yeah.
She had a bad day at the office. It didn't go as she was planned, but she did say what a fantastic honor it was. It was a dream come true.
Yes, no, absolutely.
So she's not being negative at all. She's just saying, as events go, it was tough for her, but the whole experience of being selected for the team, being with the team.
That's the big thing, isn't it? It's getting to the Olympics. Anything after that is gravy.
Yeah. And somebody has to come 46th.
There we go.
And nobody else came 46th.
That's right. It can't be the 47th.
Yes,
they just can't do it.
Yeah. So really well on that. Congratulations to her. Her parents are over there. Which is great. They've been there to watch the whole spectacle.
Yes, which I've heard that's I mean we all know about the opening ceremony and that there were controversies. Let's put it that way. But one of the saddest things that I've heard about it is that people who actually went there and bought these crazy price tickets, like hundreds, if not thousands of euros, to stand and watch. And they weren't able to see altogether too much with just kind of boats slowly
going past.
across.
So it was a very singular view, if that makes sense. Yeah, they didn't get to witness the whole spectacle. They just saw bits of it, what they could see from the side of the river.
Yeah, hopefully it was the good bits.
Yes. It would be a real mess to be on the other side of the river where you could see the backs of the athletes.
The bad bits. Along the same.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But it was such a shame. We really don't want to carp on about the opening ceremony. But just to say, I just find it very sad that it's become another thing to polarize us.
It has.
You are either,
how many can there be, man? Come on.
Saying what a spectacular thing it was, or you're saying, oh, we feel insulted because it didn't tie in with, it offended us.
Yep.
And some people even saying, let's boycott the Olympics.
That'll show them.
That'll show them. Yeah, that'll show all these athletes that had nothing to do with it. It's very sad that things like this polarize us, separate us. Yeah. I think we should just actually forget about it. We've all said our say, and let's just support South African teams.
There we go.
A few bronze medals.
Yes, and the swimming seems
gold.
to be...
We got a gold in the swimming.
That's cool. And bronze for rugby.
Bronze for
the
rugby.
Sevens.
Yes,
I think we did that. Right?
Yes, we got bronze for rugby. I think we've got a bronze for rowing. Or something.
Oh, is it?
I think we did.
Oh,
I may be wrong. Oh no! It was mountain biking.
Whoa!
Was it?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was mountain.
I have
biking.
no idea.
Oh, now I'm forgetting. Anyway, they weren't from Sedgefield, so
but who cares about them?
And our swimmer.
Yes.
Tatiana Smith.
Right? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She's due to do the 200 meters tonight.
Ooh.
If we get
Thursday,
to watch
the
it.
1st of August, yeah.
Yeah, if we get to watch it. We were a bit dismayed. We were watching on SABC, like most of the country is, last night.
Yeah, which was great. That was such a cool new thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool until last night when they introduced... Well, they did, because our athlete was in the semis.
Oh,
and she's an amazing athlete. She's already got gold in one in the 100 meter.
Yeah,
and the semis for the 200 meter were on, and they said, let's cross to our studio and have a thing called a week of sport or something. And they had these interviews of people who I don't know, talking about their personal lives.
How were their personal lives?
Not very interesting.
Oh,
not as interesting as watching a South African athlete swim in the semi-finals of the world's greatest competition.
Yeah, not what you would choose, I'm sure. Oh, that's unfortunate.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's hope they do better tonight. And let's just enjoy the rest of the Olympics.
There we go.
I certainly have. Track and field start this weekend.
Yeah, that's your favourite.
That's
what you're after.
Yes,
do we have any contenders in there as South Africa?
I think we do. I don't know their names.
Okay,
but we've got there's a sprinter. I don't know what events he's in, but
it'll be interesting to see if we can do anything there, because that seems like the most prestigious.
Yeah, just look out for our flag. Yeah, then we'll see.
Try to see it there. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, let's bring it back locally a little bit.
Okay, yes, let's do that.
I know a few weeks back, myself and my kids, we went out to Rondevlei and did that absolutely beautiful walk that is just so well looked after.
Oh, the mole rat thingamabob. Was it?
Mole rat. I think that's right.
There's a mole rat trail.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
With that awesome bird hide. And
isn't it nice?
It's just such a great place. But we accidentally took a wrong road with all the construction stuff going there and tried to get there. And we ended up at Rondevlei Learning Centre.
Oh, wow. Good place to end up.
Yeah, no, I thought so. I mean, I quickly turned around because they were having a game of soccer or rugby and I didn't want to bring my car into that. I would have dominated. Wanted to give them a chance, But you know quite a bit about Rondevlei Learning Setup. I've only had kind of glimpses. It looks like an awesome place. I've seen them pop up a few places just looking like they do absolutely brilliant stuff.
Oh, it is a lovely story. Another one of Sedgefield's gems, really. Well, we are the closest town, so we'll claim ownership of
Yes, yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
So Rondevlei Learning Centre was a couple of ladies who they were giving extra lessons at the Smutsville school, which is, it's called Sedgefield Premier. But we know it as Smutsville School because we've got Sedgefield Primary, which is in town.
Yeah.
So in Smutsville School, there's some kids who are getting behind. You know, the classes are very overcrowded there. 40, sometimes 50 in a class. So there's a few kids that were getting left behind.
Yeah, need extra support.
Weren't ready, weren't being getting enough input to go to high school. So these girls, two ladies were doing extra lessons, and then they thought, well, some of the kids are also from broken homes.
That parental support is one of the biggest.
And kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to be harsh or rude, but not really good homes. Homes where they weren't being given any attention to that sort of thing. So they said, well, if we can take these children, give these children an opportunity to learn away from this environment, where we can kind of really look after them. So they started the school, the Rondaflay Learning Centre. It was a school there that was called the Rondaflay School. It was a government school years ago. But the education department, probably about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, decided to close down many of the rural schools. We had about 5 or 6 in this area.
Yes.
There was quite a few schools, and they decided to close these small schools down and say it's a better idea to push all these kids into the bigger schools because they need to have bigger classes under one teacher.
Sense.
Oh man,
just easier to manage.
There was a fight against it, but
I'm sure
didn't. You can't win against government. So this school was empty. It's owned by by a church. By the George. It's not the Methodist Church. It's one of the others. But they own the property. Anglican. It's owned by the Anglican Church. So they own the property, but they lease it to the two ladies, and they've got a thing going. They take small. They've got small group of kids. I think it's probably about 12 there.
And do they live there?
They live. Some of them live there. Some of them come from home. Some of them stay there. Well, they're weekly boarders.
And they just the weekend.
Work on them. Proper
so into them.
Maths, English, things like growing vegetables.
Amazing. Come on.
Music, activities, all sorts of things. Lots and lots of volunteers that come in.
That's cool.
The article we had in our paper recently was about people coming to paint stuff, to work in the garden on Mandela Day.
Oh, great.
And they just concentrate all of their resources into the school, into these kids.
That's
so that
brilliant.
Kids, and they've had success stories. The kids then move on to maybe a high school, maybe a trade school or whatever.
And coping
but they've
and
got
living
that background, that solid background of good education.
Fantastic.
So it's kind of it's like the starfish story. They can't save everyone. But they've got a few that they can make a big difference in their lives, and they are.
When you impact the life of one child, and really, like you say, so into them, and they've got an environment, the best environment for learning, a safe one where they're at home, where they all of those things, where they have a home, a place where they do feel safe. Then that lasts generations.
It does,
and it's why education is so stinking important, and why it's
absolutely
infuriating when it goes so utterly wrong. When these decisions are made that are better for the governments or better for the organizations than they are for the children. It really ought to be the other way around. We should be accommodating that way, and that's just so great to hear an awesome success story like that.
And this has just come to mind out of the blue, so I'm surprising you with it. But there's a young man that I went to chat to yesterday. He and I go back a long way. His name is Holmes. Holmes is
What's up,
an
Holmes?
artist. Yes, He's an artist from Smutsville.
Yeah.
He's probably in his late 20s, early 30s now. Now, here's a guy. He was walking down the road. He was just
Holmes
a youngster.
was walking down the road.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he stopped at a lady called Alison Watson's house. Alison Watson used to run a gallery. Shame she's passed away since.
Oh, okay.
But she used to run a gallery. She was an artist. He popped in there, and the story we heard from her was that he said, I think he was about 12 at the time, maybe even younger. He said, I want to do what you do.
Sure.
I want to paint.
And
she took him under her wing, and she saw the talent he had.
Sure.
And she worked with him. She taught him more and more. She gave him confidence.
Oh, fantastic.
He's just going from strength to strength. Then he had local people who were invested in him. They paid for him to go to art school in Cape Town.
Whoa.
So I think he's a qualified graphic artist.
Excellent,
but he has done such amazing work. He's done a couple of the murals around town.
Okay.
He's got a market, a thing at the market, a stall at the market. He's done work for people in Germany. He's been commissioned to do. He's doing. There's a lodge in Germany that's commissioned a lot of work for him.
Yeah.
He is opening. And this is why I wanted to bring it. He's soon to be opening a gallery in Sedgefield.
Yes, great.
He's just such a success story.
Man,
and
that
he's
is awesome.
stuck with his passion. And I must tell you, it hasn't all been plain sailing.
No, of course not.
He's had the social problems that that often happen to artistic people and to people who've come from, I can use the word poverty because he's been sharing a house with a huge family, a very small house, but he's on his own now. He's doing so well. Phenomenal work. Google him. Holmes. His proper name is Homorden Jansen, but Holmes, Holmes, is the name he goes by.
Yeah, I'll try to find the site.
These color pictures of not rural living, township living.
Oh, I think I've seen those.
You probably have at the market.
Yes, at the market, surely.
So
that'd be cool.
I'm so excited. He hasn't given me the date that he's opening his gallery.
Yes.
He's still got to get some things in
but that'll
place.
definitely be in the Edge, right?
It'll definitely be in the Edge. But that's another thing. The reason I brought it up, it's another person who someone has recognized his talent, not written him off, and developed into such a role model.
Oh, that's great. And how far that's going to go, for him, for his family, hopefully, for all of these around there. No, absolutely love that. That's very, very cool. I've said cool at least 48 times.
You have, yes. And I said absolutely about 3 times.
Yay, well done. Okay, Bomber, I think that pretty much does it for us.
My goodness, we've gone over time, haven't we?
Once again. It's just what we do. In 30 seconds, anything from next week's Copy of the Edge that we should be thinking about, that we can look out for?
Well, no news has happened so far, except that there is a meeting coming up later this. It is this month, August. To talk about the Spatial Development Framework,
not the Spatula Development.
The Spatula Development Framework, as our councillor called it, for Sedgefield. I think it's going to be chaired by Councillor Lavelle Davis. I think it's an important one to go to.
Okay.
It's on the June group.
Okay. But it's not this week, so we'll be able to get the dates.
It's later on. It's later in August. There also hopefully will be a report on the letter sent to our
Anton
Bradell provincial government regarding the Sedgefield June and the municipality letting the community down on that. And that's it as far as we know.
There we go. So there's progress.
There's progress. There's also hasn't been any meetings that we know of with the council. So, yeah, nothing to report on that side. Yeah, no good news is good news.
Yeah, yes. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Or it's all happening behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
But I think there is a lot. There's a lot of shuffling. There's a lot of movement around.
Yeah.
But we'll be here to chat about it. And that's just been one of the greatest things, to be able to chat about these things, to get different perspectives on it. And we love to hear from all of you listeners as well. Any perspectives, anything like that. Otherwise, Bummer, hope you have a great week, man. Thanks.
You too. Thank you very much.